my she-devils and demons. This is Nurse Hatchet, she-wolf of the Wolf Pack.
The horror genre is a great expanse. Let us explore it. I've spent years as a podcaster building my reputation, interviewing people in horror, and discussing both films and literary horror. Join the exploration and let us celebrate the horror genre. I'm William Pattison, and this is
Bloodbath Beyond Podcast.
Wow, that's an intro.
Yes, it is.
Gore and Scares, everybody, and welcome to the 15th edition of Bloodbath Beyond Podcast. I'm your host, William Pattison, king of splatterpunk and author of the Camp Crystal Lake novels. All right, it is September 2023, and this is the next to the last episode before, our season ends. And I have a fantastic discussion for you. Our main discussion is going to be about the Hammer Classic, Legend of the Seven Golden Vampires. Oh yes, I'm excited about that. But first, usually I start the show off with a rant. Something about, what's happening right now. But the thing is that it would be ridiculous right now because, everything's been said so far. And honestly, I'm waiting for something to come up that would be interesting for me to talk about. But I do have a positive acknowledgement. Sorry, I've got a bit of a thing with my throat, so I'll be coughing throughout the episode. Sorry about that. Anyways, positive talk on a new it's a television series that is just about to finish its second season. And the thing is, I'm a big sci-fi fan. I love science fiction. And, I like really good science fiction. It doesn't have to have a lot of laser guns and stuff. Concept stuff is really good. And this series is really close to my heart, honestly, because this is the work of a sci-fi master that I met years ago, and I've just I adore him. He is fantastic. Not really much on characters and that, but concepts and that, fantastic. I am talking about one of the masters of sci-fi, Dr. Isaac Asimov. And the series I am going to basically praise is the adaptation of his Foundation series. Now, the thing is that, like Dune, Foundation would be a near impossible direct adaptation. Let's put it that way. Dr. Asimov is, as I said, is good at concept and that, and but when it comes to characters and that, his characters are not that good. I'm sorry to say, but they're not that good. He's not a real character writer. But and the thing with Foundation is that it's based on the idea that this one character's theory happens exactly the way it's supposed to. So, there's not a lot of tension because the reader knows that, okay, things have to go this way. So you already know the ending of each segment pretty much. But the people that have worked on this new series Foundation, what they've done is they've taken Isaac Asimov's concepts, taken his characters, and rewritten a lot of it, but kept the heart of Asimov's work there. Foundation is the story of an empire that is about ready to fall, and how a mathematician had found a way to predict the future using mathematics, and how by using this he finds out that there is going to be 4,000 years of barbarism after this galactic empire falls. But if they go by a plan that he has come up with, he can knock down the years of barbarism from 4,000 years to 1,000. Before a new order comes to the universe. And so he brings it to the emperor, and the emperor doesn't believe him. He arrests Dr. Selden, the mathematician, and his brand new assistant, named Gail Dornick. In the book, Gail is a man. In the series, she is a female. Yeah, yeah, woke. Anyways, but it works with the series for some important things that happen. But anyways, so Gale is put on trial with Harry before the genetic emperors of the Galactic Empire, the Cleons. Now, this is a brilliant piece of work by the television writers. They came up with this idea of a genetic empire where what you have is you have the emperors are all clones of the same man. The original Emperor Cleon. And the thing is that the Imperials in this, you have Brother Dawn, who is the youngest clone of Cleon. Then you have Brother Day, who's also known as Empire. He is the one that rules at that time. And then you have the former clone that was Brother Day, who is Brother Dusk. And he's the chief, he's, advisor and stuff. And he's the one that's, going to die. On top of that, you have the chief advisor, Demerzel, who we later find out is the last of the humanoid robots. This story takes place long time after Earth has been destroyed in a war between humans and robots. And so humanoid robots have been destroyed except for Demerzel, who has stayed hidden, and she is the one that is manipulating the Cleons, and she is the real power in the Empire. So anyways, what ends up happening is that Harry Seldon and Gail Dornick and all their followers are sent to the planet Terminus. And there they create an organization called the Foundation. The story around the Foundation is that Harry's people are creating a encyclopedia to help, when everything falls apart, so that people will have the knowledge of the past to rebuild society. But the truth is that Harry's people are going to manipulate and create the new order. And they are going to deal with the crises that causes the fall of the Empire. It's an interesting concept anyways. We're in season 2. The story has jumped forward 135 years. We are dealing with a different trio of Cleons. Harry is dead, but his mind is stuck in a computer program. Gail is still alive because she put herself in cryo freeze. She has a grown daughter named Salvor Hardin, who is going to help her try to keep Harry's ideas alive. Gail was supposed to create a secondary foundation that was going to be the main foundation that would save humanity. The other foundation is pretty much a front, and it's the target for, Empire and that. They've started a new religion and stuff, and they have people coming around. And anyways, so things start going on, and, there's been like 2 trials so far that's happened, 2 events. There's this one event where a former priest named Hober Mallow actually embarrasses Brother Day, because Brother Day captures one of their priests, Brother Constant, a female priest named Brother Constant, and tries to have her decapitated. But Hober saves her and causes a situation that really basically shows that Cleon is weak as a leader. Cleon the 17th, I should say. Anyways, it's an interesting series. It's through Apple TV. And if you're a person who actually does like intelligent sci-fi, like The Expanse and, shows like Raised by Wolves, you'll love this series. It is fantastic. I am so pleased with how it's going, and I'm stuck on it. I love it. It's about ready to end this season, and I'm gonna sorely miss it. So check that out. I highly recommend it. If I was going to use the Oogie Boogie scale, this one gets a 5. So, alrighty. So now we can talk about another film that a lot of people would give a 3 to. Oh, it's okay. It got a 5.8 out of 10 on IMDb, but to hell with them. I love this film. Anyways, the film that we are going to be talking about is Legend of the Seven Golden Vampires, which is in fact the next to the last Hammer horror film that came out, before Hammer discontinued making films in the late 70s, early 80s. Their last film was Captain Kronos Vampire Hunter, which was actually part of their Karnstein series. This film was, in fact, the final film in Hammer's Dracula series, and featured the final performance of Peter Cushing playing Dr. Van Helsing. Unfortunately, this movie lacked the elegance of Christopher Lee as Dracula. They had to find another actor to play Count Dracula in this film because of the fact that the part of the Count was only going to be at the beginning and end of the movie, which is a horrible shame. You know. Anyways, so the plot for Legend of the Seven Golden Vampires, which was also known as the Seven Brothers Meet Dracula. Oh my God. Give me a break. This film takes place in the 1800s, and currently, Van Helsing is in Chongqing, Japan. He is doing lectures on the legend of vampires, comparing English vampire legends with that of the Chinese ones. Now, I've done, I've watched a lot of vampire films, and the thing is that Chinese vampires are quite a bit different. They start out as zombies, and then they somehow restore their intelligence and actually get powers in regard, and they are nasty creatures. They are incredibly powerful. This film opens in Transylvania, and a Chinese gentleman has traveled across Europe and all that to come to Castle Dracula to beg Count Dracula to come with him and help him resurrect the seventh golden vampire, which has been murdered by a villager. And so Dracula figures that he cannot travel because of the sun. And so what he does is he takes the form of the Chinese guy, Ka. He takes over his body, and then he goes back to China to take over control of the seven golden vampires there, because in Transylvania there's nothing for him really. He's practically a prisoner in his castle. So anyways, what ends up happening is a young Chinese gentleman goes to Dr. Van Helsing's lecture, and his lecture is not really taken very well. The people from Japan just are sitting there laughing at him, and there's like a disbelief in Japan about these legends. So he decides, the young man is the descendant of the villager who killed the seventh golden vampire. And so he knows where the village is, where this legend took place, because, Dr. Van Helsing is fascinated by this legend. So with the help of the finances of a rich widow, he and his son and the widow and the young man and his 7 brothers, who are all martial artists, and they each know different fighting techniques with different weapons. They're going to guard him and protect Van Helsing during the trip. Anyways, so they go to the village, and the thing is that the 6 remaining vampires plus Dracula / Ka have been trying to resurrect the 7th golden vampire by stealing village girls and draining their blood and doing dark magic ceremonies. Well, anyways, what ends up happening is Dracula finds out that Van Helsing and his ones are coming to the village, so he sends out the 6 remaining golden vampires plus their army of the undead to stop Van Helsing, to kill him and everyone there. All of his crew. Anyway, so what ends up happening is a lot of the brothers get killed. The rich lady, she gets turned into a vampire, and the young man who she bites the guy that was bringing Van Helsing to the village, and so he pushes her and himself down and stakes them both. The young man before he's turned into a vampire. And anyways, so it ends up that Van Helsing has one last encounter with Count Dracula. Anyways, I love this film. I really did. the thing was that, this was the fifth film in Hammer's Dracula series, and it happened after oh, wait a second. It was the fifth one that Peter Cushing was in as Van Helsing. But anyways, the thing is that this was the final Hammer Dracula film. Before this, they had tried to bring Dracula to modern times, and that was a failed endeavor. They had, the first film was actually really good. Dracula 1972 was actually really good. But what happened is the second film, the Satanic Rites of Dracula, failed. It failed because there wasn't enough Dracula in it. There wasn't enough vampire stuff in it. It didn't feel like a Dracula film at all. They had tried to make Dracula almost like a Dr. Mabuse character, a character in the background. And all this stuff is happening. People are being killed in that. He's like a evil genius in that film. And that is not Christopher Lee's Dracula. Not at all. Most of the time you see Dracula in this film in security photos and stuff done by spies. And it's like, no. And the ending of that film was complete and utter crap. I mean, they did a good job with Peter Cushing as, the modern descendant of Van Helsing with his daughter, which were also in Dracula 1972. But the thing was that, the ending of that film was just complete and utter garbage. Dracula is destroyed by running into a spiny bush. I'm not kidding you. A spiny bush. He gets thorned to death. Oh my fucking God. Anyways, so the thing was that Hammer was losing money on its horror films because people were, turning away from gothic horror, and what they were doing is they were going more towards giallos and, the Italian horror and, slasher films. It was stuff like that, the Dr. Five stuff and, Theater of Blood and all, those type of films. But, Hammer, for a last shot, something that, that they could do that would bring in an audience. They thought that the idea of merging a gothic horror film with a Hong Kong, you know, kung fu movie, because kung fu movies were extremely popular. This was the time when Bruce Lee was coming out, and all the the kung fu movies and that, and the samurai and the swords and all that were extremely popular. So Hammer thought, okay, let's try this. So they they made an agreement with a producer in Hong Kong, and they decided that they were going to do a Dracula film that was centered in China, and have some of the more unique vampires for this series. They tried to get Christopher Lee, but he turned it down after reading the script. He wasn't happy because he was only going to appear at the beginning and end of the film. And it was like he felt insulted. And this was actually the second film in the Dracula series where Christopher Lee did not play Dracula in it. There was this film, and then there was also Brides of Dracula, where they had Van Helsing in it, but they had a blonde semi-Dracula in the film. Yeah, so anyways, and so and amusingly enough, Christopher Lee even tried to talk Peter Cushing out of doing this film because he considered it beneath an actor of Cushing's status. Yeah, Lee told Cushing that Ralph Bates was willing to step in and do Cushing's role of Van Helsing if Cushing did not want to do it, but Cushing replied that he had thought the change of scenery might help his depression after struggling with his wife's death for 2 years. So literally it was Cushing deciding that it would be, therapeutic to do a Chinese vampire film, which is cool, And yeah, this film was done on a shoestring budget. It was done a little, on a budget that was a little bit less than the standard Hammer film. It was very much a Hammer film. I mean, the lighting and stuff and the way the shots were done were very much Hammer. So, and they had a Hammer director who was doing this, which is amusing. Yeah. Here, let me see in my notes. Who was the director of This one, oh, Roy Ward Baker. He co-directed with a Chinese director, Shen Chang. And, Shen Chang was well known in China for his kung fu movies. He knew how to do a very good kung fu movie on a shoestring budget. And he brought so much to this film. The fighting sequences and stuff. And, he had the contacts that he could get the costuming real cheap, he could get the weapons real cheap, and he was, fantastic when it came to that. They had one of Hammer's people do the main set. He did the Dracula's castle set in China, and he did the Temple of the Seven Golden Vampires. And brilliant looking set. I mean, I absolutely loved the idea that they had the victims, the women, in a circle around this pot of boiling blood. Just absolutely fantastic. And I loved the lighting in Castle Dracula and in the Vampire's Temple. They used greens, blues, and reds to light it, and that worked out fantastic. The guy that they had play Dracula in this one, he somewhat looked like a Christopher Lee type actor. He had been in the Hammer productions in both Hammer productions of the Karnstein films, the first two Karnstein films, To Love a Vampire and Vampire Lovers. So, they knew that he could play the part. He had that kind of look to him like Peter Cushing had, but he couldn't replace Peter Cushing. The makeup on him was a little bit much. They put red lipstick on his lips, which didn't work, and gave him gray skin makeup, which that wasn't as good. That was one of the weak points there. I would have just left him plain with just regular makeup and a little bit around the eyes. Much like they did with Christopher Lee. But, whatever, they did that. They stuck him in Christopher Lee's Dracula costume, which didn't fit him very well. But still, that was, it was a good film. I loved it. It was so much better than Satanic Rites of Dracula. It had some excitement to it, and it was a fun romp. It was a popcorn movie. After this film, as I said, they did Captain Kronos, and then Hammer as a film studio pretty much closed down, but they did, I think, about 3 seasons of television of the Hammer House of Horror, where they used Hammer techniques and they used known Hammer actors to do an anthology series. Very good series. I really enjoyed it. And of course, in recent years, Hammer has come back. They found some investors and they've started to do movies again. Though the movies that they're doing right now, they don't scream Hammer to me. I mean, they did Let the Right One In. And, that was a remake of that. They did a pretty good job on that. That was their only vampire one. They did a couple of others. I haven't seen any of their other stuff. I know that they're doing a television series of Let the Right One In that I've been watching, and that one's been pretty good. But I'm waiting. They actually said that they were going to do a remake of Legend of the Seven Golden Vampires. They were talking about, doing a remake of that and a remake of Captain Kronos, Vampire Hunter, trying to get back to classic Hammer films. They have expanded themselves a little bit. They're doing movie novelizations of their classic horror films and that, which is interesting. They've got a novelization of Captain Kronos. They've also got a comic book of Captain Kronos that they've been doing. I'm interested in seeing what the new Hammer will do. I'd like to see them bring back, Baron Frankenstein and that. There's a few actors that I could see taking over for Peter Cushing as Baron Frankenstein, and bring back Dracula. That's what Hammer is known for, is Dracula. Those two are the things. Do another Karnstein movie too. The Karnstein movies were fantastic. I really enjoyed them. And I know these woke assholes would love them because they're very LGBTQ. The Karnstein ones are. So, yeah. So, as I said, if you like a good popcorn vampire film, oh my God, this is great because you get to see different style of vampires in this. The Chinese vampires are rotted corpses. So they had to do rotted corpses, makeup with fangs. And they look so much different from any of the other vampires that we had seen up to that point. And then, of course, they had their zombie army of undead, which those were amusing. I mean, they had rags on, and they had these skull-like masks on, and that was kind of amusing. And the thing is that the way that they shot them, they slowed down the film to give them a weird movement. So that was pretty good. Anyway, so that's pretty much what I've got to say about Legend of the Seven Golden Vampires. I sorely miss Christopher Lee, and I sorely miss Peter Cushing, doing what they do. Peter Cushing had that soft voice, and that he was such an incredible actor, and the way that he presented stuff was so incredibly good. It's a shame. We need actors like that nowadays. We need unique, wonderful actors. I mean, we got the guy who plays Jigsaw. He's very interesting character actor. But we need some classic Hammer. Come on, people. You can do it on a lower budget. It doesn't need to be $200 million or anything. Make it on 5 mil and give us some good Hammer. Come on, people. That's what we need. New Hammer films that are in the classic vein. I want some gothic vampire stuff. I want some Baron Frankenstein. Alrighty, well, anyways, so that's it on Legend of the Seven Golden Vampires. Now it is time for our music break. You'll enjoy it, and I've got commercials afterwards. And, of course, Nurse Hatchet. And then we'll be coming back for our horror merchandise news, our Scream Factory releases, and I got you 4 movie reviews. So you're going to be all excited about that. So let's check that out. I will catch you when we get back. Enjoy!
I'm walking alone with broken bones. I fear no evil. Evil fucking fears me. Your time has come. Looking down the barrel of a smoking gun. I am the Shadowed One. Evil fucking fears me.
When it comes to insurance, nobody gives you coverage confidence like AAA. Only they offer trusted auto and home insurance, plus America's most recommended roadside, all at an affordable price. Which means they don't need wacky ads with talking animals and... oh my.
Figured out you're a gimmick, huh?
I don't want to be a gimmick.
Outsmart spokes animals and choose coverage confidence from AAA.
You're a gopher.
Insurance companies love using jingles to sell your policies, but not A, that's AAA. With affordable auto and home insurance plus America's most recommended roadside assistance, who needs a catchy jingle? Cause AAA has coverage confidence.
So you've written a jingle about how we don't do jingles. That's right, Steve.
Outsmart jingles and choose coverage confidence from AAA.
Sounded great to me, boss. I'm Danger. A gimmick in insurance ads used to scare you, but not AAA. With affordable auto and home insurance plus America's most recommended roadside, they don't need fear tactics.
Instead, we offer
Coverage confidence.
So, since we don't use gimmicks, why are you here?
Outsmart scare tactics and choose coverage confidence from AAA.
Hello, my she-devils and demons. This is Nurse Hatchet, she-wolf of the Wolf Pack.
Alrighty, that was our music break. I hope you enjoyed that. Now it is time for our horror merchandise news. I know you're excited about that. I know I'm excited to give it to you. So let's start out for you Godzilla fans. Mondo has a Godzilla vinyl design figure by Urban Aztec, available for pre-order. Priced at $150. Woo! It's estimated to ship on April 2024. The King of Monsters stands 10 inches tall and comes with attachable heat ray blast effect. Urban Aztec designed the concept and the packaging. It's sculpted by Brenton Hercules and painted by Hector Arce. Very interesting. It has Aztec symbology all over it. Very interesting looking Godzilla. I highly recommend it. Fright Rags has released a trick-or-treat collection that includes a tin lunchbox with thermos designed by Justin Osborne and Yannick Bouchard for $26. Two 32-ounce souvenir cups designed by Matthew Skiff, and a set of puffy stickers designed also by Skiff for $7. Not bad at all. I think that's pretty good. I don't know what you guys think, but yeah, I think so. RoboDoc. The creation of RoboCop will be released on Blu-ray on October 17th via Cineverse. Walmart will exclusively carry a steel box edition for $23.84. The 2023 docu-series premieres on Screambox today. Directed by Christopher Griffith, Hollywood Dreams and Nightmares, The Robert Englund Story, Pennywise, The Story of It, and Eastwood Allen Craft. The 4-episode series is a comprehensive scene-by-scene breakdown of the 1987 action classic. Actors Peter Weller, Nancy Allen, Ronnie Cox, Ray Wise, Kurtwood Smith, director Paul Verhoeven, writers Edward Neumeier and Michael Miner, and visual effects legend Phil Trippett are among the dozens of interviews. All right. Let's see what's next. Oh, yeah. I'm excited for this one. Super 7 is adding Werewolf of London to its Reaction Figures line. The 3.75 retro style toy comes with a backer card designed by Ed Repka. Shipping in October. It's up for pre-sale for $20. La Femme en Noir has launched a Bram Stoker's Dracula collection for the ladies that includes 2 crossbody bags designed by co-founder Lynn Haig and Masheline Pitt. The Order of the Dragon helmet purse costs $128 and is due out in December, while the Gargoyle sculpture purse costs $125 and is expected to ship in October. Cool deal. I mean, these bags look great. Ladies will absolutely love them. Pentagram Peter Pan has Predator, Talk to Me, and The Fly shirts for $26 and trucker hats for $23, available through... Well, anyways, they'll ship in 4 to 6 weeks. So check those out. Alrighty, that's it on the horror merchandise. So now it is time, of course. I know you guys have been waiting for Scream Factory releases. The John Carpenter Anthology 2 movie themes from 1976 through 1988 with exclusive slip mat. Special offer: order from shoutfactory.com and receive a limited edition slip mat. The exclusive Prince of Darkness yellow, blue, and white Twister vinyl variant is limited edition to only 1,000 units. Okay. Now everyone should know John Carpenter is not only a celebrated filmmaker, but also a musical maestro whose soundtracks have become synonymous with the genres of horror, suspense, and science fiction. His innate latent talent for composition and his deep understanding of how music can elevate storytelling, have left an indelible mark on the world of cinema, and a haunting presence in people's record collections. Anthology 2 continues the celebration of his compositional genius via an excellently sequenced collection of some of his most iconic pieces of music from his extensive filmography, all newly recorded with musical collaborators Daniel Davies and Cody Carpenter. The compilation opens with Chariot of Pumpkins from Halloween 3 that perfectly captures the eerie essence of the cult classic film with its pulsating sense and haunting melodies. The listener is engulfed for the sense of unease and anticipation before being thrust into 69th Street Bridge from Escape from New York, a dynamic track that escalates the futuristic and gritty nature of the film via uses of throbbing bass lines, driving rhythms, and electronic textures. The tracks such as Fouches and Max Stack from The Thing and Walk the Lighthouse from The Fog, all of which display a slower tempo, foreboding undertones, and ethereal atmosphere that feels like a distant whisper, all of which has been cautiously laid in preparation to the grand finale. The iconic and instantly recognizable Laurie's theme from the original Halloween. Its simple yet menacing piano melody, which has become synonymous with the horror genre, concludes the album by striking fear into the hearts of listeners. These tracks represent just a fraction of John Carpenter's impressive musical repertoire, with each haunting note and pulsating beat. His soundtracks continue to resonate with audience, forever etching his name in the annals of music history. Yeah, that sounds really good, huh? What do you say? Now we get into something that Mr. Hyland would absolutely love, which is the Blob Collector's Edition for $35.99. Oh boy. Sounds good to me. A great B-movie with an epic budget. The Blob is back with a vengeance. That's the review from Variety. The Blob is back in this horrific tale about a vile, malignant life form that crashes to Earth in a cozy rural American town called Arborville. Untroubled by conscience or intellect, The Blob does only one thing, and it does it well. It eats anything and everything that moves. Men, women, children, and tonight it wants to swallow the town of Arborville. The original version of The Blob thrilled and terrified audiences back in the 1950s. Now the oozing, gooey killer is back with a high-tech look. What was once only suggested now comes to life with state-of-the-art special effects in the tradition of such thrilling remakes as The Thing and The Fly. Yep. Okay, so anyways, here we go. Now, another one that Mr. Hyland would love is the Pumpkinhead Collector's Edition. Product note, the limited edition poster has sold out as of August 1st, 2023, only. For other options to purchase Pumpkinhead, final extras will be confirmed at a later date. Well, anyways, this collector's edition comes for $35.99. It's a shame about the poster. That was pretty cool looking. Vivid, stylish, atmospheric from the Hollywood Reporter. When a group of teenagers inadvertently kill his only son, Ed Harley, played by Lance Henriksen from Aliens, seeks the power of a backwoods witch to bring his child back to life, but instead she invokes the Pumpkinhead, a monstrously clawed demon witch once reborn, answers only to Ed's bloodlust. But as the creature wreaks its slow, unspeakable tortures on the teens, Ed confronts a horrifying secret about his connection to the beast and realizes that he must find a way to stop the deadly mission before he becomes one with the creature forever. Also starring Jeff East from Deadly Blessing, Joel Hoffman from Slumber Party Massacre 2, and Carrie Resin, A Nightmare on Elm Street 2, Freddy's Revenge. This atmospheric, moralistic tale from TV Died delivers demonic horror at its blood-drenched best. Limited edition slipcover with first pressing of Blu-ray edition. Okay, here we go. Alrighty, and another one Mr. Hyland will absolutely love, of course. Night of the Demons Collector's Edition for $36.99. The quintessential 80s horror fun from Eric Coleman DVD Drive-In. It's Halloween night, and Angela is throwing a party. But this is not an ordinary Halloween party. Everyone heading to Hull House, a deserted funeral home, formerly the lair of a mass murderer, But when the partygoers decide to have a seance, they awake something evil, and these party crashers have a thirst for blood. Now it's a battle for who can survive the night at Hull House. Oh boy! And they got a list of bonus features here for the Blu-ray. Disc 1, 4K UHD, new 2023 restoration from an earlier 4K scan of the unrated negative in Dolby Vision HDR 10 compatible. Audio, English DTS, Master Audio 2.1 Stereo DTS, Master Audio 1.5, New English DTS HD, Master Audio. New remix by Chris McGibbon. Whoa, McGibbon, oh cool. Audio commentary with director Kevin Tenney, actors Kathy Prodwell, Billy Gallo, Hal Haven, and special makeup effects creator Steve Johnson. Audio commentary with director Kevin Tenney, producer Jeffrey, and Walter Justin, the producer. Audio commentary with Tenney and actors Liana Quigley and Philip Tazzini, and casting director Tendra Gabriel. New See You in Hell, an interview with writers and producer Joe Augustine. New Contortions and Coffins, an interview with actor Jill Terashita Benson. Oh, wait, Tashita. New The Perfect Punk, an interview with special effects artist Nick Benson. New international cut in standard definition. Disc 2. The Blu-ray. Pretty much the same thing with the audio commentary. They've added some new documentaries to this one. You're Invited, the making of Night of the Demons, a 70-minute documentary. Amelia Kincaid, Proxian, an interview with actor Amelia Kincaid, Allison Barron's Demons Memories, My Demon Nights, an interview with Liana Quigley, The Halloween Party, work print in standard definition, The Halloween Party, alternative opening title sequence, alternate R-rated scenes, a short Night of the Demons, a 6-minute version of the film shown to potential distributors, theatrical trailer, video trailer, TV spots, radio spot, promo reel, still gallery, behind the scenes special effects and makeup stills, posters, and storyboards. Nice. Very nice. Very nice indeed, wouldn't you say? Night of the Demons 2 collector's edition for $31.99. Night of the Demons 2 is the all-too-rare straight-to-video sequel that manages to improve on the first movie. From Screen Rant. It's Halloween and the teenagers from St. Rita High School want to party at the neighborhood's haunted house. For years, the whole house has sat in eerie silence. Tales of its haunted past have turned into gory jokes, and no one really believes anything ever happened there. However, Angela, played by Amelia Kincaid, the hostess from hell, is summoning her army of teen demons to the blood-curdling contest between the school's priests and herself, the Princess of Darkness. What was intended as an innocent evening of fun and games turns into a hell-raising, life-threatening ordeal. They wanted fun. Now they in a trick-or-treat party of their lives. Special features. 2023 film transfers from the Interpositive. Audio English DTS, Audio 2.0 stereo, new audio commentary with actors Christy Harris and Jennifer Rose, Darren Hermes, and Johnny Moran. Audio commentary with director Brian Tetchard Smith and director of photography David Lewis. New, A Tale of Two Demons, an interview with directors Kevin S. Tenney and Brian Tetchard Smith. Trick or Treat Sucker, interview with actor Amelia Kincaid. Red Curls and Screams, an interview with actor Christy Harris. New, Monster Mayhem, an interview with special effects artist Steve Johnson. New, A Sequel with Guts, an interview with producer Jeff Godfrey. Night of the Demons 2 work print in standard definition, dailies, behind the scenes, gallery, and trailer. All right. And finally we have Night of the Demons 3 Collector's Edition for $31.99. Good deal. Fuck, man. Amelia is back and she's ready to party down to hell. A Halloween. The gates of Hull House have creaked open once again, and Angela is wanting for her treats. When a group of rambunctious teens take refuge in the foreboding funeral home to escape the law, they soon realize their grave error, packed with thrills, chills, bloody spills. Night of the Demons 3 is a party to die for. Anyways, just like the other one, it has shitload of bonus stuff, audio commentary with director Jimmy Kaufman, new audio commentary with Kevin Tenney and special effects artist Ray Runyon, new Third Time's a Charm, interview with director Jimmy Kaufman, new One Hell of a Writer, an interview with writer Kevin S. Tenney, new Going Up North, an interview with producer Jeffrey, Up to Her Old Tricks, an interview with actor Amelia Kincaid, Night of the Demons 3, Director's Cut Work Print Standard, Night of the Demons 3, TV Cut Standard Definition, behind the scenes footage, alternate title sequence dailies, and trailers. So that is all cool, and that is it for the Shout Factory stuff. I hope you guys found that intriguing, and I hope you are going to add all three of those collector's edition Night of the Demon films to your horror collections. Alrighty, now it's your favorite time. It is movie reviews. And I got a bunch of good ones. I've got, one movie that is a sequel, and then I've got a bunch of films based on horror literature. So these are going to be some pretty cool shit. Alrighty, first one, of course, I couldn't not do a review on this, is Meg to the Trench. Yes, indeed, the Megalodon is back. Actually, in this movie, we got two Megalodons, and these are nasty motherfuckers. On top of that, they not only included new Megalodons, they've got a Kraken, and they've got these things that live in both water and air that are carnivorous. So, oh boy, yeah, no, not oh boy. Anyways, a daring research team goes on an exploratory dive into the deepest depths of the ocean. Their voyage spirals into chaos when a malevolent mining operation threatens their mission and forces them into a high-stakes battle for survival. Yeah. You guys have seen the trailers for this. Does that sound anything like what you saw in the trailer? No, not at all. We saw a beachfront, vacation community getting blasted by monsters. Yeah, that is the last 20 minutes of the film. The rest of the film is a bunch of, thriller crap. Underwater stuff. Boring in spots. The middle of the film is a bore fest because it's mostly the main characters walking on the bottom of the trench, trying to get to the mining thing for the illegal mining thing, and being chased by two giant megalodons. You'd think that would be exciting, but no, because everything is dark. For Christ's sake. Anyways, Jason Statham is the only good thing in this fucking movie. Seriously. He's the one that holds this damn movie together. It is complete and utter crap. I mean, if you want to wait for the last 20 minutes, that's when it actually gets good. And the problem is that so much stuff is happening in those scenes that it's a blur. It is literally a blur. And I saw this on a huge screen and I couldn't figure this shit out. I'm telling you, it was horrible. And I left that film very unsatisfied. I'm sorry to tell you. Okay, Oogie Boogie scale for Meg 2. I am going to give it a 2. Seriously. I was not happy with it. I liked the original film better. Seriously. This looked like something that people were throwing ideas on a wall and seeing what sticked. That is Meg 2. Oh my fucking God. So, yeah. Alrighty, let's get into something a little bit better. And when I say better, I mean really much better. The Last Voyage of the Demeter. Yeah. Yeah, this is the one that actually is based on a single chapter of Bram Stoker's Dracula. It's the story based on the captain's log of the damned ship, the Demeter, which is the ship that brings Dracula to England. And its unfortunate crew. So this is the story that we don't usually get to see much of when we see a Dracula film and they talk about the original story. Pretty much all we see is the aftermath of this. So this story tells about the voyage of the Demeter, and it's told through the eyes of a black gentleman who is a doctor who is trying to get to England because he's finally managed to get a job with a lord of England as the Lord's personal physician. Yeah, this character's gone through hell because of racism. Yeah, this is the 1800s, and yeah, black people, even though you see this on, recent television. Oh, yeah, black people were in the upper crust of English society and all this. Yeah, Bridgerton, bullshit. Bullshit. Or, of course, the most recent installment of the Slasher series, where all of a sudden you have a detective in Scotland Yard who is a black guy with cornrows. Give me a fucking break. No. That's bullshit. Well, anyways, in this, you have a realistic story for the time that it takes place. This guy has gone through medical schooling and all this, and he can't find a job because he's black. He's an educated black guy, and he can't find work. He even went so far as to go to the Carpathians to try to find work. And he couldn't find work there, out in the middle of nowhere. So he becomes part of the crew of the ill-fated schooner, the Demeter. The captain finds out that he has medical training and also gives him the side line of being the ship's doctor. Well, anyways, as the voyage goes, they find that all of the animals that they've carried on the ship have been suddenly murdered. They find a girl who has bite marks all over her, a stowaway, and who's missing great amounts of blood. And members of the crew are coming up missing. And they've sighted a weird creature on board. So yeah, lots of good vampire fun. I love this version of Dracula that you see in this film. It's very, it's kind of like a mix of the half human, half bat Dracula from, Bram Stoker's Dracula, and a little bit of Nosferatu. Very cool looking creature design. They have some CGI and it works out very well. The writing on this is crisp and wonderful. The acting is fantastic. So, honestly, I have nothing but good things to say about the last voyage of the Demeter. It is a fantastic film, and I highly recommend it, and I give it, on the Oogie Boogie scale, a 5. Isn't that awesome? A 5. All right. Well, amazingly enough, I was able to find another piece of classic Gothic literature that came out, but a lot of people did not know about this film. And I'm absolutely surprised because this was actually a pretty damn good film. Unfortunately, it suffers a little bit of woke crap on it. The movie is Fear the Invisible Man. It is a retelling of the classic novel The Invisible Man. It tells the story of a young British widow who shelters an old medical school colleague, a man who has somehow turned himself invisible. And as his isolation grows and his sanity frays, he schemes to create a reign of wanton murder and terror across the city. And she's the only one that knows he even exists. So anyways, one woke thing that was in the film that was very annoying is that, there's some murders, and a guy is actually murdered who was working with the Invisible Man. And the thing is that the detective, this is a small town, and the local constable is a black guy. Yeah. Basically what you'd call the sheriff is a black guy. The man in charge. Fucking bullshit. You wouldn't see that. This is England, for one thing, and no, it does not work. It is fucking wrong, and it just drove me nuts watching that. Everything else in the film was fantastic. The invisible special effects, even though they were lower grade than what you would usually find, this is not $100 million film. But the special effects that they do works, and they're very interesting. I was very impressed with it. A lot of it is in-camera work. They do have CGI in that and animation, but it works out really well. The acting in the film is fantastic. I really thought that the man that plays the Invisible Man does very well. I was extremely pleased with that. The lady that plays the widow, she's really good too, and she matches what you would see in this era. They don't make her a real boss babe or anything. She's very good. She's very soft-spoken and that. So it works. It is very well done, except for that one little thing, that one little piece of woke bullshit. On top of that, everything else was fantastic. And let's see, for the woke bullshit, I will knock it down, because if there wasn't any woke bullshit, I would give it the same thing as Demeter. I would have given it a 5. Now I give it a 4. So anyways, yeah, I highly recommend check out Fear the Invisible Man. You'll find it. It's direct to video, and it is well worth viewing. Now, the final review for tonight is a quote-unquote adaptation of a Stephen King short story. Not. Yeah, it is the more recent version of Stephen King's The Boogeyman. The problem is that this film is not The Boogeyman. Because I've read The Boogeyman. There's a very well done short film that's based on The Boogeyman that tells the story the way it is. This story, they take little aspects of the original story, using character names and stuff, but it tells the story of a totally different family. The father is not the everyman that was in the original story. They actually make him a psychiatrist, whereas in the original story, the Boogeyman was in fact the psychiatrist that talks to the character Lester Billings about his children, his 3 young children that were murdered. In this version, Billings comes to this psychiatrist that works at home, and he's got 2 daughters. His wife has died, so he's the only thing his kids have. And anyways, what ends up happening is because he deals with Mr. Billings, Billings brings in the boogeyman with him. The boogeyman in this story, he hunts for people who are in trauma, who are sad, who are depressed, and that. And the thing is, this family is very much so. The mother is dead, and the children are missing their mother. The one daughter is afraid of the dark, seriously afraid of the dark, much like myself, and she sleeps with lights on because she is seriously afraid. And now in this instance, she really has something to be afraid of, because now the boogeyman is infesting their house. Oh boy. And the other daughter, she is missing her mother, and she's the older daughter, and she's dealing with her so-called friends who are not much of friends. They pretty much are a bunch of insensitive asshole socias, which honestly I love the 3rd act, where they go to help her, and they end up in the house with the boogeyman and end up shitting themselves and running out of the house. I love the design of the boogeyman in this story. It kind of looks a bit like a golem with yellow eyes. Very nice. It stays in the shadows. The version that I saw, I was able to see, I had a really good theater that I went to, so I could see stuff more than a lot of people. A lot of people's big complaint about this film was it was too dark. Well, it's a story about a creature that doesn't stay in the light. It's in shadows and stuff. And so there's a lot of darkness in there. There's even one scene where the creature chases Billings's wife and the older daughter of the psychiatrist around in the old Billings house. And you can barely see the creature because it's knocking out all the candles that are in the place, because the creature has knocked out all the lights. So Billings's wife has been using candles. Now, seriously, we've already had this story in some ways, with the Babadook. So, yeah, that's what this film reminds me of, is the Babadook. There was an earlier Boogeyman film that goes somewhat like this one, but it's not anything. it's not any as good as this one, and this one is not that good. I can tell you, this one is not that good. I would have liked them to actually do the Boogeyman rather than do a Barbaduke almost and throw the title of the Boogeyman on there and just throw a few names in there. You know, come on. But anyways, you know, it had a few good scares. You know, so that's keeping it from having a 2 rating by me. Honestly, I'll give this film a 3. Seriously. It was okay. It wasn't fantastic. It wasn't a movie that I'm going to remember in another month or that. It was okay. I like the monster, but I've seen better movies about beings that attack in the dark. Nope. If you want to see those movies, try Darkness Falls and try the movie They. So those 2 films are fantastic. They actually startled the shit out of me. So, yeah. So Boogeyman only gets a 3 with me. Alrighty, so anyways, that's it. That's it for the show. I hope you enjoyed it. I absolutely love talking about Hammer horror. I love Hammer horror. That was a love of mine when I was a kid. I loved the old Dracula films. I loved the Baron Frankensteins. You know, those films were fantastic. You know, it's an era that was just so special. And people do not believe that these films were done on shoestring budgets. But yeah, the Hammer horror films were really done on shoestring budgets. And it's just amazing what they were able to achieve, because even now I watch these films and I absolutely love the sets. I love the acting. I love everything about them. Hammer horror films are just incredible for being low budget. I mean, they're incredible for just being incredible. Let's put it that way. So anyways, alrighty. So next month is going to be our season finale, second season finale. Oh my God, can you believe this? We just started. It feels like this season has just flown by. I mean, I cannot believe this is going to be the end of season 2. Amazing. And I've done such wonderful shows over the last 2 years of this. Well, I'm finishing it off with a bang. As I mentioned, there was 2 films about creatures that attack in the dark that really disturbed me. And so, for the season finale of Bloodbath Beyond podcast, I am going to discuss one of those films, Darkness Falls. So be prepared for that. I know you're absolutely going to be thrilled with that. And, this is a film that you really want to check out. because, it's one of two films that came out, the same year, and they were just outstanding, and they just blew me away. Literally, they blew me away. That was one of my best years when it came to horror, because they were so good. Alrighty, so anyways, as always, keep America strong, watch horror films, and I will catch you next month for Darkness Falls. Catch you later.
Catch me as I fall. Say you're here and it's all over now. Speaking to the atmosphere.
Phoenix Comics+Toys. Hello, creeps. Get your one-of-a-kind custom horror host figurines. That's right, kiddies. Oh, you can find hosts like the Keymaster, Mummy and the Monkey. I just love that name. Mr. Lobo, or even Carlos Borloff's Monster Madhouse. Tell him your bony little friend, the Crypt Keeper, sent you. It won't get you a discount, but it might get you killed. Phoenix Comics+Toys.
It's Spooky Boo from Spooky Boo's Scary Story Time. Grab a glass of wine, a nice warm blanket, and a pair of headphones and listen to the spooky tales of the internet. Some of the stories I write, some are creepypasta, others are sent in by listeners. You'll enjoy falling asleep to these spooky, scary stories. Now get ready, and I'll see you in your nightmares.
The international